We're going to start with the long back muscles, which are comprised of the spinalis dorsi, the longissimus dorsi, the iliocostalis, and it is all covered by the fascia of the latissimus dorsi. The muscle fibers are all going to run horizontally, and their job is to support the back and work opposite of the neck muscles. We want to start with the back muscles because these connect the forehand and the back end. Some of the techniques that can be used for them, for tight muscles, you can use friction, either with the muscle fibers or across the muscle fibers. You can do it in a circular motion as well with your fingertips. You can do muscle combing across the fibers. You can also do effleurage or a press and glide motion. If the muscles are sore, you can do the press and release technique. Next, we have the loin muscles. Which are underneath the long back muscles and is the quadratus lumborum. Its job is to support the lumbar vertebrae since there is no other bone supporting the spine in this area. Some techniques are cross fiber friction and compression. As well as the press and glide. More pressure is needed in this area as the getting into more dense muscles. Next, we have the top of the haunches, which is the edge of the pelvis and the hip joint. The muscle fibers are all vertical. We have the superficial gluteal and the middle gluteal. They control the movement of the pelvis, proper lengthening and contraction and swing of the hind legs. Deeper pressure is needed for these muscles since they're big and they're dense, and can even use a curry comb and work from the top down to get more leverage into them. Some techniques that we can use on the gluteal muscles are cross fiber friction, or friction that goes with the muscles. You can do compression. Thank you, Chelsea. Or you can do muscle combing. If the muscles are sore, you can do fingertip compression or effleurage. We have the upper hamstring attachments, which run down the back of the leg from the sacrum to the lower point of the haunches. We have the femoral bicep and the semitendinous and the semimembranous. The muscle fibers all run vertically, and their job is to move the hind legs and pull the legs backwards. Some technique for tight muscles are cross fiber friction, and muscle combing. also do some deep effleurage. And use more pressure to help separate the muscle fibers. And we have the adductor muscles, which their job is to move the bone sideways or away from the body center line, and the muscle fibers are vertical. Some techniques for these, the most effective is going to be kneading. And then moving on to the quadriceps, it's the job to bring the leg forward. The lateral vastus is on the outside of the leg, and the medial vastus is on the inside of the leg at the stifle. The lateral vastus is between the stifle and the hip joint. The muscle fibers run diagonally. The medial vastus is on the inside of the leg, and the muscle fibers also run diagonally. For the outside massage, you can do kneading, and you can do heavier friction and some effleurage. For the inside of the leg, you can also do kneading and light fingertip pressure. Between the hip and the last rib, their job is the motion of hind leg, correct bending, lateral flexion, and canter departs. We have the iliacus, the tensor fascia, the external obliques, internal obliques, and the transverse abdominals. The muscle fibers for most of the muscles are all vertical, and we can do cross fiber friction and compression. So then behind the shoulder, we have the thoracic serratus, which is in the girth area. Attaches to the last 9 ribs. The muscle fibers are vertical. And then the latissimus dorsi, which is the superficial muscle. And the jobs of these are to allow and support the forward swing of the leg and shoulders. Some techniques for these are back and forth friction, deep effleurage, circular motion, using a fair amount of pressure for these muscles.